All right, welcome to Scoop Slam Talk Wrestling. All right, today we are going to be talking about WrestleMania and how it may be becoming Bored-A-Mania.
Yeah, very boring.
Yeah, as we can all tell. All right, so WrestleMania, the card as we have it already. What is it, Double M?
It does not look very too promising right now, seeing how it's being booked as the best WrestleMania of all time.
Yeah, WrestleMania 30. This would be the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania.
And it should be big. It really should, but right now it does not feel big at all.
I completely agree with you in all honesty. The main event so far being Batista versus Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
It gives me no interest at all to watch the main event.
Well, that's because, one, Batista's return was not as impactful as it should have been for us fans.
Yeah, they really dropped the ball on that, honestly. They really should have had just Batista be a surprise entrance in the Rumble. If they want to have him win it like that, then I'm fine with that. But the fact is, the matter is, Daniel Bryan was not in the Rumble, and I think that pissed off fans, and they just forgot about Batista and just took their frustrations on Batista.
Well, absolutely. With the Yes movement growing, it definitely makes it so, we all want to see Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is, the top star right now in the WWE. He is honestly, in my opinion, the face of the WWE right now.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about the fans are behind him. With all the yes chants, the crowds explode every week with yes.
Oh yeah. He even has his own trend on Twitter, the Yes movement.
Interesting thing you got to think about here is what would happen if Daniel Bryan was in the Rumble and maybe he got eliminated by somebody else.
Well, then Ray wouldn't have gotten booed, that's for sure.
Ray wouldn't have gotten booed, and let's say Batista went on to win, and because Daniel Bryan got eliminated by
Roman Reigns.
Shield or Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And Batista still ends up winning. Is Batista really going to be booed? You think that's still going to be the case?
I think that because he just came back and won it, people would have been a little disappointed. But I don't think it would have been to the capacity that it was at.
Because let me ask you this. When you saw on the Christmas edition of Raw, I think that's when it was announced he was coming back in January.
I was happy.
We were all excited. We were like,
oh my God,
back.
Batista's coming back. Freaking love Batista.
And then he came back, I think it was Cleveland he came back in? They were all in Cleveland? It was in Cleveland, right? I don't remember exactly, but
I don't know.
It was the go-home show to the Rumble, and mind you, he came back, cut a promo, and it was just, everybody knew what he was gonna say, I'm back, and he was gonna go for the title. And at that point, I was like, well, here we go. Here's a Rumble winner right here, because that's pretty much just a given right there.
To be perfectly honest with you, maybe it was stupid, but I honestly didn't see him winning the Rumble. I mean, I didn't think about it. I didn't put two and two together.
The only reason
why
I saw it was because last year when they were building Cena up, I said, you know what? I think Cena's probably going to win the Rumble. He's probably going to have another Rumble. He's going to face The Rock. Rock's going to take it was all obvious last year at the build-up. And this year was just as obvious. And then, I don't know. It just disappoints me that they actually went with this when the fans didn't want it.
Yeah, and, the lack of Daniel Bryan being the Rumble, I mean, now they turned that into a story. Now he did, but in all honesty, that match of the Rumble was.
It was a good. That was probably the match of the.
It was the match of the card. It was Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan. They put on one hell of a show. But anyway, we're getting off track here. The topic is WrestleMania becoming Bored-A-Mania, and honestly, yes, it is. And here's the reason why with the main event. We're already covering the main event, I guess, because it's the most interesting aspect to WrestleMania.
It's the most important part of it.
It is. It is.
That's how you
that's the
promote your program.
Let's look back to past WrestleManias. WrestleMania 3, Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan.
Right.
That is what got the crowd to come to WrestleMania, to watch WrestleMania.
Even when we saw Rocky and Cena a couple years ago, that was I want to see that though.
Yeah, it was a dream match. That's why.
Yeah,
and unfortunately,
second one not so much because you're like
you already saw it. Yeah. And honestly, we kind of to me that winner was obvious. Yeah. But as for WrestleMania 30, this big event, the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania, a big milestone for the company itself.
And it's not big. It doesn't feel.
It doesn't feel big, no. And that's because the Batista Randy Orton thing has been done before. And the thing is, nobody cares about Randy Orton. Nobody gives a shit about Batista.
The fans hate both.
Read off the card. Read off the card that you had where you said the match for Batista versus Randy Orton.
Batista versus AWOL Orton.
AWOL Orton, yeah. Batista versus AWOL Orton. The only reason I think you did that is just because you and me just do not want to see this match. We've seen it before. It's happened. Ruthless Aggression era. We've seen it.
Well, I think the one thing you got to realize, too, is that none of the fans are interested in either wrestler. After Elimination Chamber, you notice the crowd went dead. And maybe they were upset because Bryan got screwed over once again. But I think the fact is people were also thinking, wow, we're really going to have Randy Orton versus Batista. We don't want to see that, Vince. Come on.
And let's put it this way. Batista's a heel in this match, correct?
At this point, I think he has just turned heel on SmackDown, so I think so, and I think they'll be changing Orton face, which even makes me more,
Yeah, so
aggravated.
was Orton face on Raw the other night?
Yeah, I think he was. But you know what pisses me off more is you're building Orton as a super heel since SummerSlam, and all of a sudden,
And all of a sudden he's the good guy?
6 months he was a heel, and then you're going to change him to the good guy for WrestleMania? The whole point was for him to be a heel going into WrestleMania, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too.
No,
I mean, he's supposed to be aligned with the Authority, but even the whole Authority, they're kind of like bipolar towards Orton and this whole thing. This whole storyline with the
it's
Authority,
just getting confusing now.
it's very confusing because they're just hot and cold towards this. They're like, we want Orton. We don't want Orton. Do we want Orton? Steph, do we want Orton?
No, Trips, you want yourself in the match.
No, I want to verse Daniel Bryan. That's what I want.
Yeah,
Well, actually, I wanted to verse CM Punk, but he didn't want to. Yeah.
I
want to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Me and my big nose. But no, seriously, nothing against Triple H. It's just,
what are they doing to us? Are they really just trying to piss us off? Or
well, the thing is with this Mania, I actually don't mind the Triple H and Daniel Bryan match that they're setting up, and I wouldn't have even minded CM Punk. I actually think that Daniel Bryan and Triple H is actually more relevant than
I
CM
think
Punk.
that's better, anyways. To be
Triple H, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, cool. It'd be cool. Daniel Bryan winning the title at WrestleMania, but Triple H and Bryan, still kind of interested in see what happens in that match.
Yeah, no, I'm very interested
because they've been at each other's throats since SummerSlam. And you think about it, Triple H pedigreed Bryan and cost him the title at SummerSlam when Orton could cash in.
You're right. So I guess this is coming full circle, and I actually do look forward to seeing how this storyline finishes. I just wish this Triple H and Randy Orton and their whole hot and cold thing with him, I just wish that kind of
I think
go
WWE
away.
is realizing that Batista now is getting booed heavily, and they're like, oh, well, we'll just
They're
turn
just
him heel.
realizing that now.
Oh, well, we'll turn him heel and just fix the plan up a little bit, and we'll just make Orton face now, even though it was never our plan. Because honestly, you can tell it was never their plan.
No,
it doesn't make any sense. I mean,
maybe later down the line it would have been, but I didn't think they'd think so early to turn him heel.
What do you think they can do to fix the main event? Because they still have time to add someone in for a possible
fixing the main event. Well, that brings us to,
or even take the title off Orton, or have Batista losing his Rumble, maybe Carter, something from like that.
Well, this brings us to another topic we have inside is the CM Punk departure / possible return. Yeah, and it's been reported on the dirt sheets that CM Punk is supposed to be at the Raw in Chicago. Honestly, do you believe this?
I want to believe it. Like, I really hope it's true, but a part of me just feels like someone's just being hopeful like we are and just saying that out loud.
Yeah, honestly, here's my opinion, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I don't think he's going to be there.
We'll have to find out, I guess. Wait, but
let me get you while we're on the Punk topic. I guess get a little off track. I guess hashtag hijack Raw. What do you think?
Yeah, the whole thing seems to me that should happen a long time ago. Honestly, with the way they were building things.
Do you think Chicago can actually hijack this Raw to a full capacity, just take the show over? Considering, keep this in mind that WWE is going to have, I believe, Hulk Hogan and Undertaker on hand too, and they're going to have that guy from that thing. I don't know that guest host. I don't know.
Need for Speed or something. I don't even know.
Is it Fast and the Furious? I don't know. I didn't even know who the guy was.
It doesn't even relevant. That's not going to help.
No. But at least not to us. But there may be people out there.
Now, cities that I can think could hijack a possible Raw right now. 2 cities that come to mind right now, just because we've been there recently in the past year, is Philadelphia and Montreal. Those are 2 hot crowds. Philadelphia is notorious for being a good wrestling city. The fans.
Yeah, ECW,
Montreal
I believe.
Seemed to, if I remember, maybe a year ago, when Lawler had the heart attack, they were pretty rowdy during the last promo with Cena and Punk, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you gotta think in mind, and I know this was just because it was the night after Mania.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
New Jersey. That's still iffy. We gotta give it a couple more Raws or SmackDowns.
So, what do you think of our hometown
Chicago?
of Boston? What do you think? How do you think they'd treat a Raw?
Boston.
I feel like we're too light. I feel like we don't have enough.
But getting back on track, I'm really getting off track with
here
now.
Can't help
Chicago, they're a good wrestling city. I think they could possibly do it. Let's see how pissed off they are with the CM Punk situation. If he comes back, think about this. He comes back, returns to Raw, in Chicago, his hometown. That crowd's gonna go nuts.
Oh,
it may be one of the best
berserk.
returns in history of WWE.
They are going to come unglued, and it's going to be amazing to see, and it's going to be a good storyline. I feel like they could do, but I just do not see Punk showing up. I feel like this is one of those rumors coming around the dirt sheets just because somebody wants to get some hype going.
Punk. This could be. People are saying, "Well, is this a work or is this real life?" Or honestly, if he does come back, they're gonna just say, "Oh, it was a work." just to cover it up, the situation, if it was a real thing going backstage,
No, yeah, absolutely.
But, you got to think about these things. Is he going to come back, and what is he going to do for WrestleMania, though?
Okay, well, here's the thing. At WrestleMania, I think the best spot they could throw him in, and I think you agree with me on this, is throwing him into the Randy Orton and Batista match.
Oh, absolutely. That's, a win-win-win for, everybody. It's a win for CM Punk, because that's why the reason why he left.
Yeah, he wanted to be in the main event of WrestleMania.
2, the fans are going to be very happy about that. 1, they'll have someone to cheer for in the main event. Makes the main event more interesting. And, there's an actual face in the damn, main event. And
Or a face that's relevant and the fans can care about.
Right. And number 3, Vince is going to be happy because he's just going to get his money, and he's going to get his merchandise.
Yeah, that's true.
So everyone's happy in that situation, That would be a win-win for everybody, like I said. I mean, where else could they really put him? I really don't know where.
I don't know where else on the card. I mean, unless he wants to put some new guy over. I mean, that's
just. But I don't think he'd come back to
No,
that.
I don't blame him if he did.
And the Triple H thing was just stupid to begin with, I think. I
don't think it was stupid, but
I think it was just starting to get
I
rushed.
think if that was going to happen, it should have happened when, Punk was, remember the shoot promo. I think it should have happened around that time.
I should have happened way back then.
Yeah, agreed. So now that we've covered the main event and even Punk in it, and where they could go with the main event, where could you see, let's see here, what are you thinking about the Undertaker-Brock Lesnar match?
Surprisingly, I'm not too big on that, actually. I really thought Taker could fight someone, I don't want to say bigger, but somebody else than Brock Lesnar. To me, Brock Lesnar is just reckless in the ring, and on paper, it just doesn't sound good. I mean, let me tell you this: they made Undertaker look strong when he returned the other week on Raw.
Yeah, it was the main idea, and let me see if I was the only one that thought this. Was the main idea that he stabbed the pen through Brock Lesnar's hand and signed? I think
so. And is
that really PG?
That to me,
just saying.
That to me made me think, okay, they're gonna make Undertaker look actually strong, and maybe reckless like Brock Lesnar, and maybe this build will be okay, and then maybe it'll be okay. But when I first heard about it, possibly happening this year, I was like, oh, out of all people, I'd rather have seen Daniel Bryan or, even another CM Punk one or John Cena. Somebody else, not Brock Lesnar. Even Rocky, if he came back to fight The Undertaker this year, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, actually, I'm not against Brock Lesnar and Undertaker. It's just, I want, like you said, there are other candidates that I would have loved to have seen.
Oh, above Brock Lesnar. Yeah, definitely.
Brock Lesnar is definitely on the list of guys I'd like to see, but he's not, he's not high on the list. I mean, on paper, Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker sounds great, but the thing is, when you think that or see that, I think back to, a long time ago when Brock Lesnar was, the next big thing. He was the WWE champion. I mean, not this guy that did MMA and has the the sword tattoo on his chest, for goddamn sake. I'm talking like young Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. I think it'll work. I think it'll be an okay match, actually.
I do, and I can't disagree with that. But I wish they had gone with somebody different, like Daniel Bryan or Cena,
but
or even the Shield.
Yeah, that would be interesting too. Seeing how that's how we left WWE programming last year. Wasn't it on SmackDown? The Shield had a 3-on-1 match.
Yeah. Oh man, that was
something like that. I think. I can't
yeah, and
my
they
not that great, guys.
Did the triple powerbomb through the table, I believe.
I want to say it was, or did he get speared through the barricade? I can't. I think he did get speared through the barricade. I can't remember.
Yeah, no idea.
You know what we're talking about, though. It was in London. I know that much.
Yeah. But yeah, I look forward to Taker matches every year. Now, let me ask you the big crucial question. Will Brock Lesnar break the streak?
Oh, absolutely not. If any person's going to break the streak, it should not be Brock Lesnar.
It's not going to be Brock Lesnar.
The only two people I could actually see ever breaking the streak, and this is going to probably oh, really, he just said that. The only two people I can think of is John Cena.
Why'd you just say that?
You know how Vince McMahon is up John's butt lately about everything. Or Daniel Bryan. And those are the only two possible people I could see. Daniel Bryan's probably the more likely one because he has a lot more on his career left. And that would just boost his career, him beating the streak. But other than that, I don't think the streak can be beaten. I don't think it should. Let me tell you that. I don't think it should.
No, the streak should never be broken.
But if I had to choose, it'd be those two guys for me.
If the streak was going to be broken, it was going to be broken when Shawn Michaels versed him at 25 and 26.
I agree with that too.
Or when Triple H versed him.
I agree. Triple H, both of them, easily 27 and 28, both good, both very good. Especially with the Hell in a Cell when Michaels super kicked them. I really thought that was over then.
Oh yeah, WrestleMania 28, I believe. 28, right? Yeah, because 29 was Punk.
Miami.
Yeah. That super kick into a pedigree. Absolutely thought that was going to be the end of the show right there. I thought that was the moment where I thought, oh my god, the streak is over.
Yeah, I did too. We all did.
Yeah, no,
we were watching it together, and we
yeah.
all jumped on our seats.
A few of the guys in the because we have WrestleMania parties where I am. A few of the guys were like yes, and a lot of us were like no, because a lot of us want to see this. Me and Manser specifically, or Double M, want to see the streak live. But there are the guys out there that are like, I want to see that streak go away. It's the dumbest thing ever. But I personally, I love the Undertaker streak, and that's what makes WrestleMania a big marquee event for me is the Undertaker streak.
Yeah, even 27 was a good match, to me.
27 with Triple H, yes.
Yes, that was one in Atlanta, I believe.
Yeah.
That was good, too, because I think Triple H got a couple of finishes in them. I think he did a tombstone at one point.
Yeah,
and
he did.
I thought that was over then, too,
Not as much for me.
Not as much, though, as the Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell was just over the top.
Yeah, that was
quite
a match.
They had a false finish, though, at 27, a little bit.
Well, they always try to, even the ones with Punk and all that.
I bought into it.
Personally, I was not a huge fan of the Punk Taker match. It was good. It's just it wasn't as hyped.
You kind of knew who was already winning that, anyways.
Yeah,
there was no really worries,
Absolutely, but overall, for Taker versus Lesnar, it'll be a good match. Brock Lesnar will be reckless, and I'll enjoy it. But it's not what I wanted to see.
Not for WrestleMania 30.
Absolutely not. Moving on to the next topic. What do you got?
Hulk Hogan being the host of WrestleMania 30. How do we feel about this?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something, Jack. WrestleMania.
Wait, I can't tell. You're being Cena or Hogan because they both say Jack a lot.
That's absolutely true. They do. In all seriousness, though, Hulk Hogan coming back to be the host of WrestleMania 30, that's good. That's fine. In fact, it makes sense.
Yeah, he was at the first one, right?
Yes, he headlined. It was Mr. T and Hulk Hogan versus Rowdy Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
I think it's appropriate that Hulk Hogan's going to be at WrestleMania 30, in my opinion.
It is. It's coming full circle.
Hulkamania at WrestleMania 30. You can't have him without WrestleMania without him.
No, you cannot. And the only thing is, I'm glad he's not in a match.
Yeah,
unless it was like a dream fantasy match. I mean, otherwise, I feel
like it'd turn into like a Michael Cole kind of Jerry Lawler kind of thing. It just would not be good.
Yeah, that's
it'd be cool, and the build up or whatever, and whatever else would be cool. But when the match itself comes to fold, it would just suck. Let's be honest. I mean, maybe not. We don't know how Hogan is anymore. Is he good? Is he bad in the ring? We don't know. He is old.
He's old and he's weak, and it's time for him to retire from the ring. But at the same time, he could play a backstage role. He could do the GM. Yeah, he could do the host of WrestleMania 30.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with it too. Thing is, though,
Jack.
I wouldn't even mind if he did at WrestleMania 30, where he came in and saved a helpless face from a heel, and did a couple right jabs and then one more leg drop for old time's sake. I wouldn't mind if he did something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see that happen. Actually,
wouldn't surprise me either. But I'm not even sure if he technically can, because I know he did not pass the physical that WWE
it's Hulk
makes him
Hogan.
do.
They probably look the other way.
I think Vince would. I can see that happening.
It's Hulk Hogan we're talking about. Everyone knows who he is, even if they don't watch wrestling.
You're right. It's Hulk Hogan. He's one of the most iconic names in professional wrestling, and even across the world. A lot of people know who Hulk Hogan is. And again, there are a lot of people going to be coming back and ordering WrestleMania or buying the WWE Network just to watch WrestleMania 30, just to see Hogan. There are people.
Yeah,
not me, but there are people.
I already have the network, so it don't matter to me.
Yeah, you gotta love that network. But
pretty good. We'll get to it.
That's another topic for another day.
Podcast, we'll get into.
Exactly.
But Hulk Hogan, I'm okay with him being there. He should be there, in my opinion. What do you think? It's good,
Yes, good for business. Okay. It's best for business. Best for business.
I just want to real quick touch on some undercard stuff real quick. We aren't going to go into too much detail. There's nothing really built right now, but we could get into it. Possible matches we could see build up in the next couple weeks?
Well, I'm hoping, Cesaro versus Jack Swagger.
See, I would love that, They did have a little tension on Raw.
Yeah, they did. So. And Cesaro would make a great face. Everyone loves that Cesaro spin. And the thing is, Cesaro, he's a great talker, and he's a great wrestler. And my God, I see the future of the business in that guy.
Swing.
That's Cesaro swing.
Oh, my goodness. It's amazing.
It's great. Another undercard match I'd love to see, and it's probably not going to happen, and it really pisses me off that it doesn't. Goldust versus Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was supposed to happen. It's not going to happen. It's going to happen. Not going to happen. I don't know. I think they're just too wishy-washy with it right now. I would like to see that too, but I just think it's not enough time now.
It's pretty disappointing, let me tell you that.
Another match I was hoping that they would have waited for WrestleMania is Wyatt versus Shield, but I understand why they did it early. There's three ways they could go with this. You could have a triple threat with the Shield for the United States title. You could have Wyatt's, facing somebody else, Shield interfere. You could have a lot of situations, but honestly, I understand why they did it early. But the match was so good at Elimination Chamber, they should have just waited.
That Elimination Chamber match was one of the best matches I have seen in a long time. And I got to say, the breakout star from that match was, in my opinion, Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Guy, he was just all over the place. He did such a great job. And another guy I feel like he really utilized his talent was Luke Harper. Really showed what he could do for a big guy.
Yeah.
Really good.
I mean, all those guys are going to have a future, I think. I hope. I hope.
I definitely see all those guys having a future in the WWE.
The only person
how
I can
could
see
they
really,
not?
the least person I could see going is Dean Ambrose lately, because he hasn't impressed me lately. I mean, he could, but he's the least, I think, of all the bunch.
Oh, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, maybe we'll get another podcast. We'll talk about the Shield and the Wyatts.
Yeah, that would be a good in-depth podcast. But I mean, I think everyone clearly knows who the next breakout star from the Shield is going to be. But I'd love to talk about it more.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll move on to the card real quick. Big E Langston, obviously, we don't know if he'll defend his title. We don't even know if he's on the card. But if he is on the card, who should he face?
Honestly, a lot of people are going to say Dean Ambrose just so they can unify those mid-card titles.
I'm okay with that. Yep. Okay.
But I want to see him versus Mark Henry for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, that would actually be good. I never actually thought about that until you just brought that up.
Yeah, it's been in my head for a little while, and it's not because they're both the black guys of the WWE.
Yeah.
It's just because I think that'd be an awesome match.
That would be a good match.
World's Strongest Man versus, the guy that lifted, I believe it was 575 pounds.
Something like that, yeah.
3 ain't enough, man. I need 5.
Yeah, tell me about it.
But, I think that'd be a fun match to see, and we'll see. You can only hope.
Yeah, those two matches you just mentioned, I'm okay with. I really don't know, because he hasn't really feuding with anyone that I know of right now that I can think of on the top of my head.
No, not that I know of.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are the matches I can think of possibly. Oh, I heard something about Christian and Sheamus. I'm shaking my head on that, like, really.
Christian, one more match. No, buddy, please retire.
Yeah,
it's time. You and Ray, I respect Ray. Ray was one of my first favorite wrestlers ever. But him and Rey Mysterio, it's time, guys. You're no longer relevant.
Yeah.
Get out. We liked you.
I don't even know if Ray will be on the card
we respect you. We are thankful for what you've done to the business. But it's time to retire.
Actually, I thought of one more match. We didn't talk about Cena that much. I mean, a lot of people don't like him. People like him, but he's supposed to face Bray Wyatt from what it seems like or what I heard about. How do you feel about that real quick?
Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. Okay. They recently did this injury thing on Raw. Who knows if it's real or not? There are different reports out there. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Point is, if this is one of those storyline things, and they're just going to have Bray Wyatt lose to Super Cena, overcoming the injury and the odds again, I'm sick of seeing that storyline.
I'm not going to be surprised.
They're playing it again. And the thing is, I love the Wyatt family. My God, are they? That's genius. It's genius. They are so into character. They are so interesting and appealing to the eye. Their entrance, the moves they do, the personas they play in the ring, it's genius.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt writes his own promos for crying out loud.
That he does.
And that's just incredible.
And it shows. He puts his heart and soul into that character, and I can see it. Looks and feel and the words he says, it's deep and it's good.
Yeah.
But as for Cena, it's Cena versus Bray. I want to see Bray win easily.
Yeah. In my opinion, this shouldn't even happen at WrestleMania. This should be on a minor pay-per-view, like Extreme Rules, Over the Limit, Hell in a Cell, whatever. It should not be happening at WrestleMania. I know people are like, well, what's wrong with this kid? Why does he think that? Here's the thing. Cena just faced The Rock in the past 2 WrestleManias. That, to me, those were main eventing WrestleMania matches back-to-back. Then you're going to throw a brand new talent in there. Cena, to me, should be facing somebody bigger. But, I'm cool with it, too, but for WrestleMania 30 at least, I'd rather have seen Rocky and Cena 3. I know people don't want to see that, but I would have rather saw that at WrestleMania 30.
Now just imagine this. Bray Wyatt beating John Cena. The man that just beat The Rock at WrestleMania 29. Bray Wyatt beats him. I mean, even if he's injured, it's still a big thing.
But here's the thing, though. People aren't going to remember that right away. They're like, oh, he beat John Cena, John Cena put someone over. They're not automatically going to think about that, They may eventually. They're like, oh, look at how many people John Cena's beaten. He's beaten everyone, and then Bray Wyatt beat him at WrestleMania. That's really big.
What a push to Bray Wyatt. My God, that would be great.
That would be good. I think that would really put the Wyatt family over.
So let me ask you this. Who's going to win? Who do you think?
Well, I think John Cena would win that only because, how John Cena, Super Cena, here I come.
You know what? I think WWE is going to finally smarten up, and I think Bray Wyatt's going to get the win in this one.
I mean, I hope so.
Whether he gets interference from Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, or he's doing it on his own, I think he is going to pick up a win.
That would be good. And anything for me, either way, I'm not going to really care that much.
No, it's going to be... It's an interesting Mania. It's not... There's room for growth and improvement, but, talking about this and going in depth, it's not as bad as I clearly thought it was, but there's a lot to be changed.
Yeah.
And a lot to be rewritten
especially
and
for
stipulations to be added.
The 30th anniversary of WrestleMania, obviously.
Yes, it does need some work. And I wouldn't mind even seeing, I know Rowdy Roddy Piper has been looking to throw in a Piper's Pit. And you know what, honestly, I'd love that. I would go crazy for that.
I'd rather watch that than the main event at this point.
Yeah, Bautista versus AWOL Orton.
Yeah.
I like that you wrote that. That wasn't bad.
It just gives me this. Gives me a bad taste in my mouth.
It's not that good of a WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
Either way, I guess.
I guess we'll have to wait and see because there's still a lot of time left before WrestleMania, and anything can happen on the road to WrestleMania.
You are absolutely right, and I guess we're just gonna have to sit back and try and enjoy the ride, whether we can or not. Obviously, this coming Raw in Chicago will hopefully be enjoyable with all the shit that's going on.
I'm hoping. So. Well, I think that's going to do it for this podcast right here, guys. Thank you for listening, and be sure to follow us on Twitter and subscribe to us on YouTube.
All right, and this has been The Fat One, Matt Seidel.
And this has been Double M, signing out. So long.